A lot of people want to live in Europe, or they want to get that European passport. In this video, we're going to talk about 6 golden visa options, residence programs that you can invest in to get access to Europe and to get your European passport straight ahead. Hi, I'm Andrew Henderson, and as I work with 6 and increasingly 7-figure entrepreneurs, what I'm hearing more and more is, hey Andrew, we'd like to spend part of our time in Europe. How do we do that? Well, a great way to do that is a golden visa. I'm going to explain how the golden visa works, dispel a few myths, and then walk you through several different countries that offer this. So the term golden visa started in Portugal and Spain back in the last decade when they were looking for cash. Their real estate markets were doing very poorly, and they were willing to offer residence permits to people who came and invested in property to get all these backlogged properties off the markets. Since then, other European countries have followed suit and offered programs where making a one-time upfront investment gets you a residence permit, sometimes temporary, sometimes permanent. And so there are 6 different programs, as well as a couple others that are kind of quasi-programs. But basically what a golden visa is it's residence by investment. You don't have to get a job. You don't have to marry a European citizen. You don't have to start a business or hire people. It's just an investment. Not in a business, but just in property, in the bank, in stocks or bonds, even in 1 or 2 cases. And so what this gives you is it gives you the ability to live in that country in Europe full-time. It gives you the ability to spend potentially the rest of your time in Europe's Schengen area. You can travel around Europe basically full-time. And so if you are, let's say, a US or a Canadian citizen, right now with your passport, you're limited to spending half your time in Europe. Now you can spend all of your time there. If you're a Chinese citizen, for example, now you can spend all of your time there when you had no access before. But really the kind of person who should consider a golden visa is either a US citizen who's planning on renouncing their citizenship in the future and they want another Tier A excellent travel passport, and they want to use this residence as a pathway to citizenship. Also folks who just want to live and spend part of their time nomadically in Europe and they're tired of the visa runs. And also people who are citizens of countries that are emerging like China, where they don't have access to Europe and they want that access as well as the passport. So what I look at this from the perspective of is mainly from the US citizen or the Canadian citizen who wants to spend their time in Europe. And if you get that extra passport, it gives you a layer of protection in the future. Australians too. Why not the Australians? Let's walk through a couple of different programs that have come up. Portugal started out with €500,000 in real estate investment. You buy that much in real estate, whether it's 10, 50,000 euro properties or one €500,000 property, you pay some fees, you get a visa. And then you renew it, and after 6 years, you can become a citizen if you speak Portuguese. They actually have other ways to do it now. You can hire people. There are lesser investment options. If you invest in the countryside, you can invest $350. If you invest in a ruin in the countryside, you can invest $280. So plan on investing anywhere from €280,000 and up, and you can get a passport after 6 years with minimal time on the ground. Spain had a similar program. We don't really recommend it. It's going to take you 10 years to get a passport for the same €500,000 investment in a country with a far less stable real estate market. Now, if you want to invest money in the bank, Latvia came out with a program. They said, okay, you can buy €250,000 in real estate, half the top end price of Portugal and Spain, but you can only buy 1 property in Riga or 2 outside of Riga. So you're not quite having the same flexibility as you might in Portugal or Spain, where you can just buy as much real estate as you want. But okay, it's half the amount. They said, you know what you can also do? You can invest €280,000 in basically a bank deposit where you're lower than a depositor, but you put that money in the bank, we'll give you a 5-year permit. Just don't leave it, just don't take it out. And you can earn 2%, 3% in that, so you're gonna earn a little bit of return on your money. Sure, you're not renting the property out and getting the income, but you're also not dealing with the hassle of paying Portuguese tax on renting out your properties and the hassle that that brings. Other programs, Greece came out and said, okay, fine. You don't want to live in Latvia? We'll let you buy real estate in Greece for the same price, €250,000. So you can see the numbers are coming down here. Now, of course, Greece has a lot of high taxes on property. It was so bad at one point that people said, in Greece. We don't want property. Oh, our parents have property? Please don't give it to us. We don't want it. We disavow our inheritance because there's so many issues owning property there. But yet, it is the cheapest option. We always talk about what the cheapest option may not be the best, but yet thousands of Chinese folks are flooding into Greece to take advantage of this €250,000 real estate investment where you get permanent residence and you can own as many properties as you want. Malta has an option which you could call a golden visa. You might not call it a golden visa. There's a couple different ways to do it, and it's kind of confusing and probably doesn't make sense for U.S. citizens. But basically, you're going to make a one-time payment. Perhaps you're going to invest some money in bonds. You're going to lease or buy a property, and you can live in Malta. One, I don't find that interesting, but definitely worth knowing about. And the last golden visa, per se, is in Ireland. Now, Ireland is the most expensive. They are not in the Schengen area. They are not in this borderless European region. So if you get an Irish residence permit and you don't have the ability with your passport to go to Europe, you're still getting a visa. So it makes it less interesting for folks who don't actually want to live in Ireland or become an Irish citizen. But it's interesting because they speak English in Ireland. You can not have to learn a new language if you want to get that passport. And people aren't going to look at you they're not going to look at me with any weirdness for having an Irish passport, whereas I don't particularly like Greek, for example. Ireland, €1 million, up to €2 million, depending on whether you want stocks, you want bonds. If you want to donate €400,000, they'll let you in doing that too. They did take away the real estate option, so it made it a lot less attractive for folks. So those are 6 options. Basically, what most people are going to do is they're going to buy real estate from €250,000 to €500,000. But it's confusing. What's the best program for you? It depends on a lot of factors. It depends on where you're going to live, where you're going to pay tax, what's your citizenship, what are your goals. Okay, those all have to be factored in. But now you have an idea. If you invest that money in property, or in Latvia if you put the money in the bank, or in Ireland if you buy some stocks, you can get in and you can live in Europe. And potentially in most of those countries get a passport, some with no time on the ground, others with time on the ground. So that's your pathway to Europe. You don't have to get a job. You don't have to start a business. You don't have to file annual profits tax reporting or submit a business plan. You get rid of all of that. You get right to the bottom line. And it's a very interesting thing for a lot of people who are looking for that access and that passport in Europe. I'm Andrew Henderson, and if you're looking for a way to legally reduce your taxes, build your freedom, and create wealth faster as a global citizen, then you've come to the right place. I want you to do 3 things right now. Number 1, click the button to subscribe to our channel. Make sure to get notifications so you never miss a new video. Number 2, get a copy of our #1 best-selling book, Nomad Capitalist, on Amazon and learn all the dozens of benefits of our lifestyle. And number 3, if you're already a 6 or 7-figure entrepreneur and you want to put these strategies in place, go to nomadcapitalist.com and find out how to get some help.